Don't forget, folks, like and subscribe and comment down below. I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much for being here. And we are talking about tonight fix your emotions, fixing your emotions. Work on your emotions. Let it be less of a let your emotions be less of an issue for you, less of a problem for you, less of a bother, less of a worry. You know what I mean? Because with those negative emotions, hi Lynn, appreciate you. Thank you very much, Lynn. I am good. How are you doing? So, your emotions, typically, this is something that will take you to where you do not want to go. I am confident that a lot of these violent crimes that has been committed because the person did not know how to control their emotions. But it is what it is, though. Now we have this problem. What do we do? Where do we go from here? And we are trying to keep ourselves out of prison, and we are also trying to save our lives, making sure that we don't get taken over by somebody else because we might pick with the wrong person and it might not end well. Okay? So now, fixing your negative emotion. This has to be taken seriously. There are nobody out there. I mean, most people out there they won't be able to help you or guide you through this. This is a self-healing discovery, self-healing journey that you have to go on. That is the journey I went on in order for me to work on my emotions. How did most of us get it? A lot of us grew up in a single mother household. That is just how it is. We're not bashing anybody, we're not bashing our parents. That's not the time for that right now. We will leave that for some other time. We will discuss that some other time. But most of us were raised by our single mothers. Men, I'm talking here. This affects women too, but they can get away with stuff which we can get away with. Okay? So, men who were raised by their single mothers, the chances of you getting yourself into some serious problems is actually quite high. When you look at the criminals who are locked up behind bars, majority of them, 90%, came out of a single mother household. There got to be something going on there. Okay? Since as your dad wasn't there to guide you and to instill discipline in you, now this job is on you. You're gonna have to father yourself. This is what it is now. Yeah. So this is your job now to father yourself. Get ready to start to father yourself. Be your own father, be your own guardian, be your own parent. You didn't like when your parents talked to you anyways. So now you're on your own. You pass 18 years old, or you're 18 and above. What do you do now? Because you're going to have to deal with this, emotions. It's going to have to get dealt with at some point. It has to be fixed. This can land you into prison or other places as well. We do not want to live our lives like that. So now the goal here is to save our own lives. And this is when you're going to have to get good at disciplining yourself. Start to respect yourself. You went over to the liquor store, you see the Hennessy bottle, you thought about stealing it, but you said, I think I'm gonna go get a job across the street so that I can start working, so that I can buy this Hennessy bottle here, this pint of Hennessy here. And that's when the other part comes in, right? Izzy, how you doing? And this is when the other part comes in now, which is reprogramming the subconscious mind. Two things that has helped me, and I have used that to reduce the emotions in my life. I don't have that much problems. I don't have enemies. The people who I made trouble with years ago, those people are no longer in my life. I don't live around them. I live miles away from them, thousands of miles away from them. Okay? And I knew then some of them, I know I still can apologize to them. Know, hey, look, dude, where I was in life, I was not in the right place, right state of mind, and I owe you an apology. I can do that. That's not hard for me to do. Hey, we all messed up. We all make mistakes. Hey, look, bro, we all make mistakes. My fault. I said some wrong things to you. So right now, I just want you to accept my apology, and so that we are good, and that way we can move on with our lives. Because I don't want to hold this any longer inside me, and I just want to let you know how I felt about the whole thing. I was wrong, right? But right now, moving forward, I have zero, energy inside of me to enter or engage into some type of back and forth argument with somebody else. I don't want to do it. I don't have time for it. Right? So I focus on the things that will bring peace to my life. The choices that I made on a daily basis are healthy choices. Anger, which, the emotions that you gain earlier on in your life, anger is a huge part of those emotions. Anger might be the worst of the emotions. Builds up, and know what you do now. What do you do now? So, right now, we have to take it seriously about making the change, making the shift, because the goal here is for us to live a lot longer right now. Okay? So, moving from being an emotional man to a positive, upbeat guy who wants more out of life, who is not gonna be run by his emotions. Mood swings. This minute you're up, next minute you're down, and you're all over the place. Been there. I understand it. Didn't know how to fix it, but I knew something was wrong with it. Over a period of time, I noticed from implementing this work, the personal development, the transformation, I start to make some changes. Here and there, I made changes. I'm not saying I am, out of being emotional yet. There are some times when I get upset still. But moving forward, I know how to avoid situations which are going to make me angry. I know how to do it now. Took me a while to figure it out, but I figured it out. Not that hard, right? But right now, where you are right now, that's not where you want to be. That's not who you like to be. The identity that you hold of yourself. You might know it, you might not, it doesn't matter. But if you are getting angry all the time, the image of yourself, your self-image, you have the self-image of an angry person. And you are saying, well, it's not my fault, it's that person's fault. Sure, maybe Jason pisses you off. Maybe Abigail said the wrong thing to you. I get that. That doesn't help you in this case at all. So this is when you're gonna have to sit down and take a look at your life. Where do I want to go? Right? What do I want to have? The things, my goals, my visions, my dreams. Those are things you got to take into consideration. That was a huge part of my problem. I forgot about my goals and my dreams. Hi, Christy. I forgot about my goals and my dreams. I was lost. I moved here into my new country, that I'm living in now. For 12 years, I was in my new country. I was lost for most of it. After 12 years, I woke up to what was really going on. And I decided to do something about it. Now I have the information. These online gurus, they provided me with the information that I felt like I needed all my life. Once they said it, open their mouth and said it, I was like, that's it. I got it. You don't need to say another thing. It was, you can become better than how you are right now. It's not like I didn't know that. But I have never heard anybody really put it into words. So many different words that I have to start think. So I said, what's going on here? I need to figure this out. I need to discover, because these personal development people, they have a way of making you do things. They ask questions. Who are you? What do you want? Where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself a year from now? And I have zero clue what these guys were talking about. I probably want to go down to the liquor store, get me a 6-pack of beer and go home and drink and go to work and pay bills. I knew it wasn't what I wanted, but that's what I was doing. So when he asked me what I wanted, I have to start thinking. And then I came across all these audios and videos that on YouTube. This one particular guy jumps out at me because he was talking. He was like 305 pounds. And he was diagnosed with a brain tumor, pituitary tumor. I think that's how you pronounce it. Whatever, my tongues are tied right now. But 305 pounds. And he said, he sat down and he asked himself, before the houses, the cars and everything else, big houses, big cars, money and everything else, what did I want to be? And he said, I want to be an athlete. And then I looked at my life and I said, what did I want to be before all of this? My goal was to travel the world. That was my goal. Still is. And I held on to it tightly. I wouldn't let it go. I just wasn't making the right decisions, the right moves, the right choices. I wasn't doing things in a certain way to get me from where I was to where I need to go. That was a huge problem. No wonder why I was suffering mentally. It was torturing. It was so intense that I would wake up in the middle of the night and hear all these chattering in my brain. I wake up in the middle of the day, chattering in my brain. Because I wasn't living the way how I want to live. I was a miserable person. Really, really miserable. And I start on this journey here, the transformation journey, trying to develop myself and make myself better, trying to work on myself. It took a long time for me to understand certain things because I was making all these mistakes as well along the journey. There are still some things that I didn't really understand. I'm a lot more watchful now. I'm watchful with the people who I hang out with, the people who I have conversation with, you know, people who I associate with. I'm more watchful now. That took me a long time. So, handling the emotions. Not that I knew exactly what I was doing, but I knew I need to change. However, I can make the change, I'm gonna make it. So I notice I start to cut off relationships that I have that I have with other people. Not that they were bad people. I just wanted to cut off relationships. Within, I don't know, a few months or a few weeks, few days probably, I was one of the loneliest person I have ever known. I was just hanging out with a whole bunch of people like recently. What happened? I stopped hanging out with those people so fast. I became a lonely person. And then I started listening to Joseph Rodriguez, and he said, this journey here, you're gonna be lonely in the beginning. Boy, was that true. Sometimes I was laying down. Sometimes I lay down in the bed listening to these audios. Like late in the night, like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I'll still be up listening to these audios. And I thought to myself, I'm like, oh my God, this is freaking lonely as hell. But I understand there was nothing for me to go back to, so I can't go back. The only thing I can do is put one foot in front of the other. That's it. Step by step, little by little, bit by bit, piece by piece. And then I start to move forward. Still falling down, still getting back up, still making mistakes. There are some things that I didn't understand. And then begin to work on myself. So it was about, say, like 4 years into it. Because this was, 2018, 19, 2020, 21. It's like 3-4 years into it. I really begin to start to understand more about how this thing works. Because, you see, one of the things that I wasn't prepared for is how long this freaking thing was going to take. It's taking me way longer than I wanted to. But I understand the reason for it. So many people got on this journey here, they quit so early, so quick. Even people who I see who are way more intellectual, can read more than me, smarter than me, and so forth. The thing with those people is they're impatient and they quit. The more I continue on this journey here, the more patient I become, the more rigid I become, the more disciplined I become, the more consistent I become. Those people decide to quit. I am not one of those people. I said I'm gonna carry on. Whatever I have to put up with. Okay? Thanks, Christy. Hero's journey. Whatever I have to put up with. I don't care how much pain, how much headache, how much energy I have to spend. Uh, hey Lily, how are you? Appreciate you. Good to see you. All right. I don't care how much energy, whatever the cost is. I am willing to pay the price. Because one of the things that Napoleon Hill talks about, he was like on Earl Nightingale, on Napoleon Hill. They were like, you have to be willing to pay the price. And I said, whatever price that is, I am willing to pay that price to get from where I was to where I need to go. It was a hell of a price, I tell you that. But it was worth it. This is the best I've ever been in my entire life. So, when people are saying, oh, personal development, that stuff doesn't work. I really do not know what you're talking about. Seriously. I don't know what you're talking about. Without this information here, I do not know where I would be today. I do not know what I would be doing with my life. Who knows what will happen to me? Because I was going down the wrong road. I was going the wrong way, 1,000 miles an hour, doing the wrong things. It's only when this information comes around, it slows me down. Now, because the reason is, for the slowdown, you have to stop and turn around to go back the other way. It's not a clear, 5-lane highway. It's like little tracks with boulders and trees and everything else is in the way. Rocks. But I said I'm going to climb over these impediments, whatever impediments is in the way, whatever obstacles are in the way. I am going to put up with whatever I have to put up with to get through, to go to where I need to go to. Whatever risk I have to take, whatever chance I have to take, I'm going to take him. It's going to be painful, but I'm going to take him. Without me taking those risks, those chances, some of those moments are extremely painful, extremely shameful too. Feel low, feel like you are just not where you need to be in life. And those things happen. But you have to be willing to put up with some things. And that's exactly what I did. Fast forward. Like a year and 6 months ago, I made another move. That one seems to be a lot more better than the other moves that I've made. I noticed there was a sense of peace started coming. Why? Because I start to practice more, intense practice. And I start to run. And I start to work out. So fitness, hybrid fitness, plus reprogramming the subconscious mind changes my life. I go from a miserable, angry person to a peaceful, calm human being who is enjoying his life, have great relationships with other people. This didn't happen overnight, but I know you can do this too. If you are willing to pay the price, if you are willing to put up with what comes with change. I know that words sound sexy. Change, transformation, personal growth, self-improvement. They sound so sexy. They are not really sexy because you are peeling back that onion to get to the good stuff down there in the middle somewhere. You are shedding that old image of yourself. Those images will come back. I gotta warn you of that. They will come back. You're gonna have to stand up to those images and tell them, this is not who I am anymore. I am no longer this person. I'm a new person now. You're gonna have to fight with that image for a very long time. Will it ever go away? I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe not. Maybe don't. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But you're gonna have to keep fighting with it, day in day out. Some days are more intense, but for the most part, you will have a lot of good days where it's just relax and chill and move out of your way and let you enjoy life. And some days it'll be like, yeah, that person that done you this and that person that done you that, get pissed off. Go to the emotions, feel the pain, but I want you to sit back and say, I am no longer that person. I don't feel that way anymore. I don't see myself doing these things anymore. And then, you know, it will stand up to you, towards you for a little while, but eventually they will go away. But there are some things you have to do on a daily basis here, because this is daily work. I don't know if you should work out and run every day like I do, but that is a huge task. Get up and go work out and then go run 4 miles. I don't know if that's something you should do. Coming from a guy who does it every single day. Should you do it? I would say, yeah, you probably should give it a shot. But for the most part, no. Unless you are a certain kind of person. You need to have a certain type of mindset to do this, what I'm talking about here. Alright? So, we're going to work on some things here on a daily, in every single day. 1, we are going to change our thoughts, which eventually will change our lives. Clean our minds. And also, we need to work on our vocabulary. We cannot control our minds, but the words that we speak, we can have some control over those. What we say to other people, it's gonna come back to haunt us and bite us in the butt. We do not want that. What we really want is to treat other people better, talk to other people with respect. We respect them, they respect us, and don't forget, respect yourself, discipline yourself. This will reduce the emotions in your life. Emotions are enemy of mankind. So many people destroy their lives because they did not know how to control their emotions. I am still working on mine, but it's just that I have specific things that I do every single day to make sure that I stay on track. I stay the course. That way I don't say a whole bunch of stuff that I should not say to good people. Why even horrible people? I still don't want to say that to them either. So I will control what leaves my mouth. And that's when I can practice repetition, listen to the same thing over and over, repeat the same thing over and over. That will change your life. That changed my life. I'm getting better at it. I have to keep on getting better and better at this thing here. Start loving life again. Start saying I'm glad to be alive. I respect myself. I love myself. I am important. I am valuable. I am desirable. I am admirable. I am confident. I am strong. I am brave. I am fierce. I am bold. Right? We have to keep on repeating these things over and over and over. Yep. Exactly, Christy. Right? So, self-improvement journey, transformation journey, not a cakewalk. But you guys can do it. And I have faith in it. I have faith in a lot of people that they can actually change their lives as well. Start to tell yourself that you are important and you are valuable. And I don't mean that the White House and the UN is going to accept you if you show up there. These politicians and these diplomats might not. But the people in your circles probably will. People will start to look at you a little bit different and start to see you in a different light. Not because they change, but because you change. Right? I'm going to leave it there, folks. Ryan here, coming to you with a brand new video. Looking forward to see you soon in a brand new video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for being here. I'll catch you soon in a new video. Control your emotions and take your life to where you're destined to go. All right? All right, bye-bye. Thank you. Bye for now.